Hey, what's happening, Nation? It's Sanjoku. Going into the last game of the season. It's been a really, really disappointing season. It sucks to say that, but we had a lot of high expectations coming into this. We really thought that we were going to be 11-5, 10-6, at worst 9-7. But now we're looking to see if we could be 8-8 or 7-9. I truly believe that we're going to go out there and end up finishing the season 8-8. We have to finish this season 8-8. I know there's a lot of people who'd rather see us lose this game to kind of move us up in that draft stock a little bit. But we're playing against Denver in Denver, the only team that we truly kicked the crap out of all season long. And I do not want to see us go in there and get taken by them. And they're the last team in the division. We're going to jump into it. We're going to break it all down. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. If you're new to the channel, please do think about subscribing. I really do appreciate that. But we're not going to waste too much time. It's all about football. You know how we do it out here. We'll start with the injury report. Trent Brown did not practice, has a knee injury, got banged up at the end of that last game. I really don't know what's going to end up happening, if he's going to end up playing or not. I'm not even going to start to break down Trent Brown out there. Dude has had an incredibly rough season. It sucks for him. I know that he's not. There's been a lot of people throughout this season like, he's doing this on purpose. He's just did it. I do not believe any of that. Honestly, I know I've talked about it in the past. I'm not going to jump into it again. I just really hope that dude can get healthy and come back. He's already under contract. Keep him around and see what ends up happening with him. I don't know. I'm pulling for Trent, dude. I really am. When he's on that field, he makes a world of difference. Carlson was a full practice. I'm not worried about him. Cleveland Farrell's probably not going to play in this game from what all the reports are saying out there. I really hope that he can come back, kind of recoup. A lot of people are really down on him. He ended up dealing with COVID. He ended up dealing with some injuries. It's been another rough season for Farrell out there. It sucks, but I'm really hoping he can bounce back. Denzel Good did not practice. It looked like he got pretty banged up. So if we do not have Denzel Good, we do not have Trent Brown, our O-line is going to be looking a little bit rough because Incognito is still riding the IR and probably not coming back to this team. It's going to be another big question mark, but our offensive line has been a huge question mark all season long. Rodney Hudson does not practice it. I mean, the dude just never practices. It's never injury related. He just doesn't get out there and do it. I do not care. Rodney Hudson is like a staple on our offensive line. The dude is one of the best centers in football, and I will take it all damn day. Maurice Hurst has a calf injury, did not practice. That kind of sucks to see. Gabe Jackson, not injury related. He's not practicing. LaMarcus Joyner has a thigh. I'm really hoping he can end up running in this game. We're going to need a pretty strong defense. I understand that the Broncos and Drew Lock are pretty much a trash offense out there, but we still have to be able to put our best foot forward because they have nothing to play for. We have nothing to play for. It's just a matter of just being a rivalry game and us wanting to finally just sweep a team out there. And I'm just hoping it happens, man. Nicholas Morrow looking like he should end up being back for this game. Kwiatkowski and Worley, they should be clearing the COVID list, so they should be back for this game. So we should be looking pretty strong for it. Carl Nassib, full practice, should be ready to go. Sam Young, limited, but we're going to need Sam Young if these other guys cannot go in this game. As far as the, I want to talk about Ruggs for a little bit in Renfro. We'll jump into that in a little bit. The Broncos, they have allowed the second most points in the AFC West. Can you guess who allowed the first most points in the AFC West? It's us. But we've also put up 402 points throughout this season. They've only put up 292. This is a game that we should be able to go out there and win. I have no doubts about us going out there and winning this game. But if we don't, we're going to be 7-9, and this season's going to just break my damn heart out there, like truly break my heart. So, I don't know. I want to jump into it, get your guys' thoughts. We'll jump into Ruggs and just kind of everything that everybody's been saying about him lately, which has totally been pissing me off. But I really want to know what you guys are thinking, and if you think we can end up making it through this and just finishing out strong, not even strong, but finishing out on a high note instead of just this shit streak that we've been on, being 5-6, going into these last games, the easiest part of our schedule, which seems to happen to us every damn year. We beat the teams that we shouldn't beat, and then the teams that we should just mop the floor with, they come out there and kick the hell out of us. It sucks, but it seems to be a trend, and it seems to be a trend under Gruden, especially going into the month of December. So let me hear your thoughts, man. Hit me up. We're not going to waste too much time. Let's do this. Stanley, what's happening, man? I'm glad you can make it out to the show. Costas, how's it going, man? We get to see Joku's new setup, man. I'll tell you right now, there's something pretty soothing about sitting back and just chilling this in the blue light out there. I was kind of going back and forth about it. I made that video last night, just kind of getting your guys' thoughts on it. Everybody really liked it. And for this setup right here, with everything kind of being the blue and black, it really fits in well, so I'll take it all day. I bet you Carl will be able to see Elway's chiclets from the field. Definitely want to see what the defense looks like this week. They looked better last week than they did in a while. They looked a hell of a lot better last week and for the first 3 quarters out there until Fitzmagic came in there and just wiped the floor with us. But if we can continue to get that pressure, David Irving should end up playing in this game. We're going to have Beasley ready for this game. I'm still curious to see if Tack gets activated for it or not. We're gonna have some different pieces out there, and I really want some pieces that I really wanted to see together on the field that we have not had a chance to see. So hopefully they can come together and do it, because we need to get a true pass rush out there. It's been one of the biggest things that's been killing us all damn season. Brian, what's up, man? I'm glad you can make it out. Pizza, what's going on, dude? Alexis, how are you? Oh, Anthony, thanks for coming out. Fabs, what's going on? It sucks to say it, but I'm on the team to tank. Need better picks. Fabs, you're not alone on that. There's a lot of people in the nation that want to see us go out there and lose this game. And just not even lose this game, but just not play our starters. I really think it's important for us to play our starters. Gruden kind of hinted at the fact that Mariota might be getting a little bit of play time this game. I don't want him to come in like the second half and finish this game off. I want to see him worked into the rotation, like worked into the offense to where we're running these little wildcats and things like that. The things that he was doing when he was the starter, but just while Carr is still healthy and on the field, it's a major part of this offense if we can implement it, man. It's not like we're going to be the first team in the NFL to ever do it. I hope the Pats lose for the draft picks and no Trevor Lawrence to the Jets. Do you think Carr will leave? Same thing with Nelly. Carr, I do not think is going any damn where. If Carr leaves this team, I will be so pissed it'll be unreal. And I'm going to catch a bunch of hell in the comments section. Like, oh, here we go, making more excuses for Carr. Yeah, dude. Until Carr has a defense that is playing on the opposite side of the field, that is his excuse. If Carr has a bottom 25 defense every year he's in the league, name me another team that made it to the playoffs with a bottom 25, honestly bottom 27 defense every single year. I'll wait for that answer if you guys got one. Win or lose, it all depends on what the other teams do. Yeah, I mean, that is true. So yes, 8-8. 8-8 is where I want to be, man. I want us to re-sign Nelly. I want to re-sign Nelly too. The fact we haven't re-signed Nelly is a huge, huge question mark out there. I was talking to one of my longtime subscribers, Larry. I appreciate you commenting and let me know some information out there. Seems like both sides have been working and talking about it, but there's a big unknown as why he's not signing that piece of paper, and he might just want to be waiting to see and test the free agency water, see what kind of money he can get, which sucks because you hate to see that, especially when you have a guy that's been putting up the production that he has for us all season long, but you can't blame him for wanting to go out there and get paid. But him and Carr do seem to have a chemistry out there. I'd like to see him come back and not want to see us like blow a huge wad of cash on him just with how the salary cap and everything's going to be so screwed up going into next season. But I'm all for bringing him back. Do not get me wrong about that. That would be ideal. Nelly he's been a great contributor for us. Dave, how's it going, man? Al, what's going on? Finishing off with a win will give me a much better feeling during this offseason. Me too. But I really want to settle into this offseason by getting, Costas, you put it in the comments at the top of this thing, getting a defensive coordinator on this team, letting them evaluate the players that we have on this team before we get into the draft. I'm really hoping we can get not like a huge name, but just a good name defensive coordinator who's really going to be able to take control of this defense. Fabs, I reckon Nellen is testing the market because the Raiders wouldn't offer excuse me. I mean, that's the thing. Like, from everything I've seen and heard and what Larry was telling me, like, we've made an offer. It's out on the table, but I really think he's just waiting to see what else is there, and you can't blame him for that. We don't know. Maybe the Raiders have offered and they're not negotiating. Maybe the Raiders, no, from what Larry told me, dude, and he's a pretty damn reliable source, that we have an offer out there, but he's just not willing to bite on it yet. Gordon, well, I for one, I am. Me too, dude. Alexis, how do you feel about Nelly being a free agent? I don't want to see him make it to that point, but I really think we're going to. Carr shouldn't be starting the week. Let Mariota or Peterman play. There's no reason to throw Carr into the fire when he barely was healthy last week. I completely agree with that. I would like to see Mariota go out there and play in this game, or at least get a decent amount of reps in this game. But Carr is the starting quarterback of this team. Gruden came out there and said he started the season. He's going to finish the season for us. If he is still banged up at all, there's no damn reason to put him out on that field. But, I mean, their starting 3 defensive linemen are all hurt, or they're all questionable right now. We'll just have to see how that shakes out. But there's no reason to get out there and see Carr take some huge shot or that possibly get hurt in the last game of the season for no damn reason out there. I'm not happy with the talent we had. 8-8 is not good enough. 8-8 is terrible. From the talent that we had on this team, it does. And we've talked about it before. A lot of it comes down to the coaching on this team. And the coaching has been rough to say the least. So I really want to see what ends up happening with it. I really think a new defense coordinator is going to make a big difference. Marinelli over the past, that first game really doesn't count because he only had 4 days, and one of those days was a complete wash. But then when he had a full 10 days to work with these guys, it did look a little bit better. Hopefully he can continue to put it all together. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I do not think Marinelli is going to be the man moving forward. So we need to get somebody in here quick who can start taking a look at everything and seeing exactly what he has to work with. Oh, Chance, what's good, man? I'm glad you can make it out. We're going to finish strong, 8-8. We need to. Brian, welcome to the show, man. Always look forward to your videos. Keep it. I appreciate it, man. Yes, Carr deserves to finish. If Carr's completely healthy, he definitely deserves to finish out this season. But I would argue that isn't on the field talent. It was DC. Why did the defense look better last week than they did the last 5 games? Pressure. A little bit of pressure, and we were actually bringing blitz packages. I forgot what the exact number was, but I saw it on ESPN. They were talking about the difference between Marinelli's system and Gunther's system and the percentage of blitzes that we run. It was double digits as far as like the amount that Marinelli blitzes compared to what Gunther was doing. It just, that extra pressure truly helps out there. Oh, Dominic, what's good, dude? I definitely think the Raiders offered Nelly a contract, but I think he wants to. He did. From everything I've read, the dude has a piece of paper that he could sign. It's not. I'm not going to fault him for wanting to see if somebody else is going to offer him more money. It's not like he's been a Raider for the past 6-7 years, and we're all like just waiting for him to sign. The dude came onto this team to prove himself to the rest of the NFL. He went out there and did it because he has that chemistry with Carr. You know damn well Carr wants to keep him on this team, but if Nelly's like, I did good enough to where this team's going to give me X amount of money, and the Raiders are only going to give me this, you can't fault that dude for leaving. That is what this whole year was about for him. I don't want us to risk Carr getting injured out there. I do not. If Carr gets injured in this game, I will be beyond pissed off. Like beyond pissed off. I expected better, but I can't necessarily call this season a disappointment. COVID definitely caused problems in Gruden's play calling. You can't expect success when the D gives up 30-plus points. No, Chris, you cannot. In the COVID season, it is what it is. Everybody knew this season was going to be weird. Everybody knew this season was going to suck. But the Raiders ended up biting the bullet as far as this COVID crap goes way, way more than the majority of the teams that we were playing against and even teams in our own division. And it sucks, man, because a lot of it comes down to that's coaching again, of telling your guys, like, man, get off the field, stay out of it. Baltimore's another one that ended up kind of taking a good bit of shots with it. Washington did, but we're by far at the top. It seemed like every damn week we had somebody else popping on that COVID list. That was not happening league-wide. There's a lot of teams that went out there that only had like 2 to 3 guys throughout the season that ended up popping on that COVID list, and we were definitely not one of them, man. Let's see where I was at. Sorry about that. Remember when we were hyping up the defense before the season? Damn the age. Well, man, Pizza Man, get the hell out of here. That defense on paper looks so damn good, and I take nothing back from what I said about this defense, because I'll tell you right now, if we had a fresh defensive coordinator at the start of this season, which, in all honesty, we should have had going into this season with everything Gunther has done for us, this defense would have looked a hell of a lot better. It would have taken them a few weeks to gel, but once they put it together, this defense would have been strong as shit. I promise you it would have. And that sucks to say that, but I mean, we all saw it. Yeah, the defense has been better under Marinelli. It's just the pressure, and if you get that pressure, the quarterback has less time. It makes your linebackers look better. It makes the secondary look better. But between the injuries and the shuffled mess that we've had in our secondary, the rotation that we've had on this defensive line from missing players, yeah, I'm not making excuses for these guys, but at the same time, you have to look at it. Well, we got kind of screwed this year, like from top to bottom out there. How come people don't get that? Carr never had a good defense when he started in Pop Warner football. He never has, and he honestly probably never will if something doesn't happen. Love that camo hoodie. I appreciate that, man. I got this thing last year. I've been wearing it for a minute. My wife stole it, which totally sucks, and then had it tucked up in the closet, and she finally gave it back. I don't think John Gruden is the problem. It's our defense. I mean, our offense went out there and put up, 402 points this season. The Chiefs put up 452. So we're one of the better offenses in football. But if you're going out there and the defense is allowing 30-plus points every single damn game, you cannot expect to win those games, man. If your defense completely blows, you're going to lose games regardless of how good your offense is. And our defense, for the lack of a better term, man, it sucked the entire season. I think Nelly will go to another team if they are playoff competitive, not really looking for the money. Frank, with how he's getting a little bit older, I could see that. But at the same time, if it comes down to a team like just a shit team offering him a ton of money, there's not a player in the world that's going to pass that up, dude, especially when you start getting older and in the back end of your career out there. There was a point to make about showcasing Mariota in order to increase his trade value. That is true, but I'd like to see us keep both those guys. Carlson will be a free agent at the end of the season. Do you see us re-signing him? I really hope we do. I know we missed that kick, and everybody's kind of pissed off about that, but if you look at that kid's season as a whole, he has been a hell of a kicker for us, and somebody that I think we could lock down for a reasonable price. And as long as he can continue to play the way that he has, I have no problems with him. I don't want us to lose key players since we already lost 4 of them in meaningless games. Rest our starters and let the second unit play to see how they do. Yeah, Dave, I'm right there with you. This game, it does not matter at all, and I don't want to see any key injuries come out there and happen in this game, but at the same time, I want to win this game. So if Carr can go out there and get us out to a lead, our defense is playing well and they're stepping things up, and then you want to bring Mariota in instead of working him into the rotation, I'm totally okay with that. You want to bring Peterman in. I do not want to see Carr get lit up on the first or second play, or Carr go out and scramble and end up fully tearing his groin to where his whole offseason screwed up. It'll kill us, dude. It'll kill us for next year, like before the damn thing even starts. We're playing the Steelers and the Ravens next. Yeah, dude, I saw that. That totally sucks. I was looking at that schedule. We got Dallas on that schedule. They'll be back fully healthy. There are some, dude, trust me, through this offseason, we'll break down that entire schedule. We'll do player breakdowns. Yes, re-sign Carlson. Yeah, I'll take that, dude. King, we are still rebuilding the team, and Mayock will get the defense right this summer. He damn well better. Man of God, how are you doing? Why doesn't Carr go through all his progressions? A lot of it's been just his offensive line. He has not had time to go through all of his progressions. When you get guys like Sam Young and that tackle's being pushed back straight into Carr's face, like immediately, you get guys like Simpson on that line that are making misreads. Hudson can only do so much to cover for him. They end up coming through the line. So a lot of it's just timing. If you look at it, Carr's been pressured a damn good bit this season. And I don't know, you get into that... You get it in your head that you're going to end up getting blitzed and you're going to end up having somebody in your face in those first 2 to 3 seconds. You end up getting the ball out quick, and it sucks because the times where he does have time and then he ends up making a quick little dump off pass, that's when people get so pissed at him. But if you know you're going to end up getting blasted if you don't, I don't know, it's a double-edged sword out there. I've been down on Marinelli from the gate, but I had to consider PG scheme and play calling. Tired of seeing press man zones. Man, me too. Like, I'm so sick of seeing press man zones. I believe the future is bright. I really think you're right about that. Black Mamba, how are you doing? Jonathan Abrams, our Jamal Adams. He's not being used correctly. He shouldn't be stuck in one-on-one deep ball coverage. Thank you, Mamba. I've talked about that before. Jonathan Abrams, if he's your deep coverage man, there is a problem out there. That dude is probably going to end up getting took because he's going to be cheating up at the start of the play. I really think if you used him more as a Jamal Adams type player, crept him up into the box, lined him up as linebacker every now and again, sent him blitzing like we have been doing, but every now and again we drop him back into coverage, and I really think that's just because we don't have the safeties that can go out there and help him, and that's what totally sucks about that. Whenever I think about the 8-8, I think about the deckless cowgirls. Don't go 8-8, please. Bad pizza, dude. They got a shot at still making the playoffs. Lenny, what's happening? Will you have content during the offseason? Yeah, Lenny, I've been doing this for about 2 years now. I always go straight through the offseason and just continue to come up with different ideas and just put videos out there just to kind of get your opinions. I do player breakdowns. I do position breakdowns. And then, for you guys that have been with me for a minute, I like to draw out those little dudes and end up just kind of putting our lineups together. It's fun, dude. I love it. I truly do. It's the whole reason that I do this is just to come out here and bullshit with you guys and just go back and forth and talk football. The off season does not stop that for me. I usually go to like 1 or 2 shows a week instead of busting out like 4 or 5 shows a week. But I don't know. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. It's what I've always heard. Yes, Abram was actually blitzing off the edge and not just running straight into the offensive guard. Yeah, Jacob, that was God. And I'll tell you, when Abram was out and Joyner was playing that position, it just kind of came blitzing through and kept running straight into the guard. I'm bald and I was still losing hair, dude. That was unreal. Oh, Lee, what's happening, dude? The lights. I appreciate you, Lee. Thanks for coming out, man. I like Aaron Rodgers. Everybody likes Aaron Rodgers, man, but I do not want to see him come onto this team. I absolutely would bring Ty Williams back on a 1-year prove-it deal, same contract we signed Nelly to. Let me ask you this, Dominic. If we ended up having Ty come back for one season. We re-signed Nelly for like a 3 to 4 year contract. You got Ruggs, Edwards, Renfro. You could release the rest of your wide receiver room at that point. You still have Waller. Foster comes back. Witten better. I mean, I love Witten. I was happy he came onto this team. I think he worked well with these young guys, but I do not want to see him on this team next season at all. Not personal against Witten out there. He's lost the step, but he's just not doing it for us. Nelly is not going to have a better QB than Carr. He would sign an offer for more money. Means nothing in this business with a bunch of mediocre organizations. That's a straight fact out there. Dan Quinn for defensive coordinator. Man of God, I've talked about that before. Dan Quinn is fully available. I really think the Raiders are waiting to see exactly who gets freed up at the end of this season. Matt Patricia is another guy that could end up being an incredibly good defensive coordinator. He's done it in the past. He's going to be a guy out there looking for a job. Some of the calling the Raiders mediocre organization. Gunther didn't help. No, Gunther didn't help at all. Oh, Gord, what's happening, man? I'm glad you can make it out to the show, dude. Can't wait for Wade to fix this D. Flight, if Wade ends up being that guy, I will have his support. I will back him up 110%. He is not my first choice. I've mentioned that before. But as long as we get somebody in here fast that can sit down, evaluate everything, and make it look all right, we'll see. Rig. Don't believe what you see. Gord, I'll tell you, man, you're starting to get in my head a little bit as far as the stuff you talk about in the comments section. When you really start taking a look at it, it's hard to question some of the things you mentioned out there. I think the rookies, draftees, are taking longer to develop, combined with the brain-dead DC. Well, I mean, the offseason that we had, it sucked. It sucked for these rookies. It sucked for all these guys that were coming up, all these guys that were new to the team, not having the full offseason, not having the preseason. I know a lot of people want to do away with the preseason, but even if you did away with the preseason, that's still more camp time that these guys would have working together, learning the system. Give Marinelli a chance. The Raiders D got Tua benched, but Gruden got outsmarted by Flores and didn't prepare for Fitzmagic. He did not prepare for Fitzmagic at all. But we did look good against Miami. I've talked about Marinelli possibly winning this job just because he is one of Gruden's buddies out there. I'm sick of Gruden's friends and family being on this staff with him. Like, get rid of all those people. If you and Gruden have a past, you should not be coaching on this team. You saw Buckner come in here, change this entire defensive line. Our defensive line looked like so stud through 2019. 2020, we end up getting rid of him, and then it goes to hell out there. It's things like that piss me off. Nelly might end up being like Jared Cook, a good year in the system, and featured him. Might take a payday somewhere and get his numbers could drop. It's very, very possible, Edgar. It's very possible you could see that. We should sign back with us. Money doesn't evaluate players. I mean, look at what happened with Mac. He was good in 2018. Now look at him, mediocre. Man, Dave, I will give you that. But a lot of these guys, if I was like, look, man, you want to come on my YouTube channel? I will give you $1 million. And then some other YouTuber is like, come on my YouTube channel, I'll give you $2 million. Who the hell are you going to pick? You're going to follow that money. It's not about loyalty. It's not about anything else. If you get guaranteed money, you're going to follow that. These guys have families they're taking care of. They got to do what's best for them. Which position should the Raiders draft? Kevin, what's up, man? I'm glad you can make it out. I'm really thinking that we're going to go offensive line in that first round. I know it's not the popular opinion, but our offensive line is banged up. They're hurt. We need to get another stud out there. I know it took Colton Miller a year or two to develop, but he has become like a staple of our offensive line. If we can get another guy like that, I would love it. It would suck to I know people are like, that's a wasted pick. It's not a wasted pick. You have to have an offensive line, especially in a system like Gruden runs out there. So hopefully we can get somebody like that. In my personal opinion, if I was Mike Mayock, I would be going after a safety. That would be my first pick in this draft. Would be the best safety on the board or the best defensive tackle on the board. One of those two positions, unless there's just a true stud linebacker, but I've given up on the Raiders drafting a stud linebacker in the first round. We've had so many opportunities and blown it. Dallas versus Raiders. Better be prime time. It damn well better be prime time. I'm sure it will be. That's a game that's going to bring in a lot of money. Are we sure it's going to be all defense in the draft? We might replenish. That's what I'm saying. I'm really thinking offensive line is going to get a piece of that draft board out there, and it's going to get a piece of our free agency. I promise you that. Ever since Max signed with Chicago, he only had one good year, and now he's really been mediocre, and Chicago paid him all that money, and they coughed up those draft picks for him. That's what I'm saying. And you saw it in Denver. One defensive player does not change your entire defense. You have to have a unit that is working together. And at first, when Mac got onto that defense was solid as hell in Chicago. And he ended up looking like a damn superstar. They went into the offseason. That defense got picked apart. They put a lot more pressure on Mac to kind of carry the load. And it just doesn't happen, man. Free safety is one. Offensive line is another. Before that, get a good DC. You have to get a defense coordinator before you start doing any of this. Alfred, what's happening, dude? I appreciate it, man. I truly love this hoodie, and it's super soft. What's plan B for injuries next year? Knowing it'll happen again as we fall apart. Gorb, it will. There will be a shit ton of injuries next season once again. The only thing that I'm banking on for next year is that hopefully this COVID crap will be gone, or at least the NFL will be like, really, you can't tell people they have to get the vaccine, because of everything I've read about this vaccine, there's some shit that comes along with it that would never make anybody like be forced into taking it. And there's stuff coming down through the wire like, if you work at a restaurant, you're going to have to tell your employees to take this. Like, screw that. And you can't force these guys to take this vaccine, but hopefully enough people will get it to where it kind of fades away, so we won't have to worry about the COVID crap for next season. These guys can come together, play full seasons, and everything will be okay with it. I think that will help out tremendously. I think having a full off season together will help out tremendously. So, I don't know. The injuries are what they are. That's going to happen for every team out there. There is no plan B. You just have to have depth on your team. Payback on the folded card game. God, Jason, dude, that folded card game still sticks out of my mind. I'll be rooting on the Bills. Bears Super Bowl. Man, no chance. No chance. The Bills got a shot. The Bears ain't going nowhere. Linebacker safety for the draft is a priority. That linebacker from Penn State looks good, but I think he will be on the board. I think he'll be on the board a good bit, Frank. I had a problem with Marinelli's cover 2 in the Miami game, where Hollins, oh God, dude, everybody had a problem with that cover 2 at the end of that game. Why the hell we were not sitting in a prevent defense or just a big dime package with everybody drop back a little bit blows my mind, dude. Hodea, the best defense tackle. He is the best D tackle in this draft. Mr. Big, what's good, dude? Bro, if we don't get a new offensive coordinator and the defense coordinator, we're going to be worse than last year. Man of God, I completely agree with you, but I do not see Gruden passing over the play calling rights to anybody. That dude's ego is way too big. I'm really hoping he sits down and kind of looks at himself in the mirror, reevaluates what some of the choices he's made this season. He talked about it all last offseason, how things were going to change. Our red zone offense was going to get better. He was going to get better at his play call. You saw the same damn thing that we saw last season as far as the red zone goes. He needs to bring in another offensive coordinator. He has to. The defense coordinator, I mean, that's going to happen. But an offensive coordinator, that's a huge one, man. Free safety is the biggest need. Want to see if DC goes 3-4 or 4-3. Man, I'd love to see our defense coordinator go into a 3-4. He needs to use both his quarterbacks, let Mariota work the goal line. Raiders had most of their short kick field goals with 18. Yes, Jennifer, I completely agree. Bring Mariota in the red zone. Bring Mariota in just randomly throughout a game. Just have him make some plays. You get a 3rd and short out there. You put Jacobs in the backfield with Ingold sitting in front of him. Mariota is the quarterback. He can fake that handoff, roll all the way around, and end up making that run himself. They know Carr's not going to do that. Just put it in the fold out there. Even if you still run it, it just makes them second guess and take a step back. Lovie Smith, he's another one that's out there. Who's the best D tackle in the draft? Dude, it has to be that Hodea kid. We might end up needing a nose tackle and not a defensive tackle, depending on the defensive coordinator. That is a true statement out there. I will give you that all day. See if I can do this without skipping a bunch of people out there. I missed some stuff, but Joku, what is your assessment of Ruggs? I think he is good but soft. When teams get physical, he can't handle it. He's afraid to catch the those nasty pass tight one. All right, man. Here's the thing about Ruggs. And really, all right, let's just break this down real quick. Ruggs has 23 catches on this season. He's had 40 targets, so he's got about half his targets out there. He's at 414 yards. He has 2 touchdowns. His long was 72. He has one, and he lost a fumble out there. So, I mean, it sucks. But those are Ruggs' stat line for this season. It is not a great rookie season by any means out there. But Ruggs brings a lot to this offense as far as just keeping teams honest and not letting them stack the box against Jacobs. It keeps the middle of the field open for a guy like Renfrow to go out there and feast. A guy like Waller, who's going to end up being our leading receiver again from the tight end position, to go out there and feast. And he brings a lot to it. He's ended up dealing with some injuries. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he hit the COVID list, but I know he's out for a few weeks with an injury. So that kind of set him back a little bit. But Gruden's just not giving him a chance to go out there and develop. He had 8 carries for 49 yards, and then his longest carry was 12 yards. I wanted to see him carry the ball more. We kept putting him in motion, setting up those jet sweeps with him, but we never actually did it. We did it 8 times out of, 15 games? So, I mean, out of all the snaps that he's played, I would like to have seen him get a few more carries, especially if we're not going to be hitting him in the passing game. But lining him up on the outside, getting him deep, I think a lot of it's going to come down to him and Carr just working together. I have no doubts that Ruggs is going to end up being an elite receiver for this team. I just want to make that perfectly clear. And for the people that are already shitting on him and writing him off and saying that he's going to be a bust, do not buy into that yet. I'm telling you, do not buy into that. He's going to end up being damn good for us. He just needs to get the rapport. He's going to need to put out a little bit more size because you guys are right about that. That kid gets 2 hands on his chest to start off a play, and he cannot get off of it within the first 2 seconds. Carr's already picked his position. He already knows where he's going. And if Ruggs has been met at the line, it's not going to him. So I think that's where Gruden's coming at when he's like, he has to do more with his opportunities. Like, he has to get free to be able to get the ball. So hopefully he can continue to work on that. Have him work with Renfrow, man. Renfrow barely ever gets touched because he shuffles his feet right at the line. Whoever's guarding him has no idea what to do, and then that dude's just split in one direction or the other. I don't know. I like Ruggs, man. Do not sell that kid out yet. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be something special for us. Let's see where I was in here. Is it time for Joyner to go back to safety and let Amik, with that speed, run the slot? I don't know. I was really hoping to see more of Meek. I thought we were going to see more of him about week 10 or 11, slowly start working into that position, especially when Joyner started to get a little banged up out there. But we never saw it. Meek looks like he's taking a little bit more time to progress. Hopefully he can work into this system and continue to kind of win that slot position. He's another guy. He's little, man. And when you're playing in the AFC West, you're expecting your slot guy to cover either some huge tight ends or some huge wide receivers. He keeps up incredibly well when you play a team like the Chiefs out there. But when you get into a team like the Chiefs that are all speed, he matches up really well. But you start playing against the Chargers and you have all these Hunter Henrys and they're big Allen. Dude, it's a tough matchup for those smaller guys out there. Ridden holding Foster back. Once I saw Foster catch that touchdown, juke that guy, and make his way into the end zone, I knew he was completely healthy again. So I do not know why we continue to see such a heavy dose of Witten. If there would have been Foster on those plays last week against Miami, even with the bad throw that Carr had to where Witten had to change his body position and could not catch up to the ball, Foster would have made that catch. And I'll give you that. He's holding them back. He worked with these young guys. He got them ready. You saw more of an improvement out of Waller. I think Foster kind of working with him in the background is going to help Foster out. But it's time to let these 2 guys shine moving forward out there. Sorry, I skipped down a good bit. Larry, what's happening, man? I'm glad you can make it out. We need to go defensive line. I'll take it, man. I will take it. Spend all the picks on the defense. Please, no more character picks. Just go with the best player. Yes, I do not care what these guys do on or off the field. Just pick the best dude on the board and start moving forward. Money having free agent front 7. Draft. Oh, God. Jason, what's up, dude? I'm glad you can make it out. We got to draft an offensive tackle in the draft. We got to bring in an offensive tackle in this draft. There is no other way around that. Plan B for injuries is to fire Gruden. Man, I'll tell you, as far as a conditioning coach goes, that's a tough one, man. I wonder if Parker is ready to start. No, he's not. You saw Parker go out there and play a terrible game, and we were all like, why the hell is Parker out on the field? And then for the next 2 weeks, he came out there and just shut it down. And we were all like, dude, Parker's finally turned the corner. And then he came back out there and shit the bed again. The dude, he's not getting the play time to become consistent enough. I do not think he's at a starter level, but I do like him still as a rotational piece on our offensive line. I want to see him a hell of a lot more than I want to see Sam Young. Curious to see what happens with that. Sam Young's on the back end of his career, so we're probably going to be moving on from that. And draft a running back in the 4th round, please. For the love of God, draft a running back in the 4th round. You can get a spell running back in the 4th round who has a shot at being a true superstar in this league. Dave, me and you are on the same page with that. Big power back to complement, yes. Like, I've talked about that for so long. Just bring in a big bruising back on this team. If we can draft a young kid to come in there and do that. Because, I mean, if you get into one of these big bruising backs, and I understand, like I've talked about Booker, I really didn't think Booker was going to make this team. He ended up playing damn good for us as a spell back. But then when it became his job to lead this team throughout some games, he was not able to do that. A big bruising rookie running back, I understand that he might not be able to do that, but he's at least going to hurt people going through that line consistently, play after play. I'll take it all damn day. We got to bring Wade Phillips. A lot of people are pulling for him, man. Keep Booker. He's a solid backup to Jacobs. He is. And I like Richard. And then you end up having Ingold. We got a solid 4. I just want to see a young but big ass back come on this team. Prevent when we never need to end, or we never need to end when we don't run it. No, we never do. Whenever we need that prevent out there, we always end up pulling out some cover 2 or some weird little package that, dude, it blows my mind. We'll be saying we need for many more years, talking draft picks. Yeah, I mean, you always look at a build in the draft, but at some point, and that's what sucks. If we can free up some money with the players that we have on this team, and I'm not even going to talk about the names. We talked about them before, but there's about 4 guys you could release off this roster going into the next season that would give us a way better cap position than a lot of teams are going to have next year. And then you use that money to jack your defense. Like, just jack the shit out of your defense. Bring in a defense coordinator, let him sit down, go through that free agent board, and just start plucking pieces off for exactly what he needs. And then you can shuffle in your offense into that draft a little bit, because there is a hell of a lot of good players that are going to be hitting free agency this year. We need to make a move on them instead of just sitting back and watching them go to all these other teams, man. It's killing me. I don't care who the DC is as long as he is good and can evaluate a defensive talent. Yes, thank you. That's all. Just somebody new and somebody that has not a simple scheme, but a scheme that just works with the players that he has instead of forcing the players to work in his system. That's going to be the big difference. Numbers, what's good, man? On to next season. Let's see what Mariota next game. Let's see him. Let's bring him out and see what he has. Koji, Happy New Year to you, man. What's your thoughts on some help with the strengths and conditioning coach that will help with the injuries? I know it's Gruden's son, but we have too many people out this week. Man, our injuries have been stacked all damn year. I think Gruden should pat his son on the back and be like, man, you've done a hell of a job for me. It's time for you to move on. And just, I don't know. Our injuries are worse than anybody else's. And I'm not saying that Gruden, none of us are in the strength and conditioning room. None of us know what's going on in there. So it could not be his fault at all. It could just be incredibly bad luck. But when you see other teams go out there and, like, look at Denver going into this game. Besides, like, a few little banged-up questionables and a suspension, they're pretty much healthy, top of the board to the bottom. And then we're supposed to have this new facility that has all the high-tech, all the state-of-the-art equipment for these guys to work on. And our team's still completely banged up the entire damn time. I don't know what the answer to that is. Do you want to bring back Vic, Tack, and Irving on one-year contracts? I have no faith in Vic Beasley. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The dude has done exactly what I've expected him to do for this team, which is damn near nothing. I understand he's had very limited play time, but until he can come out there and do something truly great, I'm not going to be sold on him. Tack, I think, has a ton of potential. David Irving, I think, has potential. If you want to bring all 3 of them back, keep Farrell around, keep Max Crosby around, and then, keep Vickers, the only dude that's done anything for us, and kind of shuffle everything else around. I wouldn't be too worried about that. I really like Hankins. I think he's getting a little bit up there in age, but at the same time, he dominated that Miami game. He was one of the brightest spots on our defensive line. Keep him around. See what we have. We brought him on this team for a reason. I don't think Booker is adequate as a backup. As a true backup, he's not. But as a spell back, he's great. Hear me out. Haskins is an idiot, but if we sign him on the cheap and there's a preseason and Gruden can fix him up, flip Haskins for a high draft pick, kind of like Mariota. Anthony, I just don't know if teams, even if you went out there and, like, I don't even want to say fix that kid, but if you ended up working him in the Gruden system, he'd never get the play time to see, to showcase what he can do unless we completely blew another season, or in case Carr ended up having just a catastrophic injury, and then for some reason Peterman or Mariota, whoever the backup was, ended up getting hurt too. I don't know. I'm not sold on Hank. I do not want to see Haskins come out there and be on this team for any reason, like, whatsoever. I absolutely hate the prevent D, but for the first time in decades, we need it. We didn't use it. No, the prevent defense is like, it's a super situational defense. But when you get into that situation, you have to use it. And we did it. For some damn reason, we did it. Haskins doesn't love the strip clubs in Vegas. That's another thing. Haskins in Vegas would be a terrible, terrible combination. We can flip Mariota. We don't need Haskins. I don't want to see us flip Mariota either. I want to see Mariota stick around for another year. Andre Siskor or one of them. Oh, Dave, dude. I'm going to do so many little mock drafts and breakdowns throughout that draft once we get through this season. You have no idea. Could have had DK. Oh, God, dude. So many teams passed on DK because he wasn't ready and he had character issues. Dude, screw that, man. Everybody was... If you could not see the talent level that kid had, that blows my mind. Looking at Miami 360 defense turnaround, there is no excuse as to why we can't do the same. Gruden will have to swallow his pride and share the workload with his coordinators. Yes, watching that Miami flip going from worst to first as far as defense, and it's all because of the coaching they had and getting like a few key pieces to come onto that team. There's no reason in hell we can't do that. Darius, what's going on? Knowing the Raiders, they ain't going to take any of those guys. Oh, that's so sad but true. I hope the NFL one day would draw our team out of the hat for the Super Bowl. One year. It's bound to happen. Happens to everybody out there. Gordon, you got to keep the faith. I think we're forgetting David Irving is coming back. No, dude, I've talked about David Irving coming back. He's going to be a defensive tackle, especially with training camp. Don't sleep. I'm not sleeping on David Irving at all. I've been totally psyched about him coming onto this team. I think we rushed him a little bit coming on, and I really think that was one of the reasons he had such a big setback and ended up getting hurt again. We could have waited a few weeks to kind of get him more into the rotation, but we were in a situation where we needed to win some games. He could have been that spark that ended up getting us that pressure, but instead he got banged up. He's one that I definitely want to see come back. Do you think the Raiders will make a blockbuster trade next season? No, I don't. Nothing that's going to like truly blow your mind out there. My question is, what is the defense going to look like next year? 3-4. It's all going to depend on that defensive coordinator, whoever we bring in. Another injury-prone player, David Irving. It's hard to argue that right now. Who do you think would be a good backup QB if if Mariota decides to leave? I honestly think if Mariota ended up getting traded, I think you'd see us take a quarterback in like the 4th or 5th round of this draft. You'd see Peterman remain on this team since he has this offensive playbook completely down. He'd be our backup. We'd have that rookie working, and then we'd have a little bit extra capital for Mariota. That's the way I honestly see that playing out. Rob Marinelli staying as defense coordinator next year. I've talked about it possibly being the case. I don't know if it will happen. A lot of people were like, there's no chance Marinelli's taking over the defensive coordinator job. There's a reason Marinelli was brought onto this team. There's a reason Gunther was fired mid-season, so Marinelli can kind of get his hands on it and see what he was working with. I really think there's a shot that Marinelli ends up keeping that job. Like, I really do. But if we bring in somebody else, I'll take it, dude. Sam Young. Oh, Sam Old, not Young. Go get what's happening, dude. Sam's in like his, I want to say it's just like his 12th or 13th year in the league for an offensive lineman, man. The dude's had a good career. I want to see Javen White, all these young guys get some play. I want to see Mariota. I thought Javen White looked damn good, Fierce. Like last week, I understand he only had 2 tackles, but he was all over the ball. I want to see him get more involved. I want to see him continue to play. We need to re-sign Aguilar. Let him and Ruggs need to be best friends all offseason. Talking what's happening. We need a big bruising back, but we have no names. No, we don't, dude. Those big bruising backs, like there was a back, I forgot his name too. I don't even think, he didn't even get drafted. I don't think he was in like the 4th or 5th round, but the dude was like 6'4", 255, and would just straight run people over. And like that, I wanted him so bad, especially because when you look at the late end of our draft, we could have ended up getting somebody like that and bringing him on and just letting him go out there and really hurt people. And just goal line situations, put Ingold and then put that dude behind him. He's getting 2 or 3 every damn time. There's no one who's going to stop him. Booker stays. Booker's going to end up staying. Should we get another wide receiver in the draft or free agency? A lot of that's going to depend on Ty Williams. If Ty ends up coming back by some miracle, you're going to end up seeing us stick with what we have. It's a room that we can check off the board to where we don't have to make any changes, and it kind of helps free up the rest of the draft and free agency. So keep a close eye on that. Next year, we'll have Tanner Muse. I can't wait to see that kid play on defense. Larry, I can't either. I was pissed when he ended up hitting IR, and then they said he was going to be done for the year. But he's going to have a chance to really kind of get recovered, continue to learn this system. He's been watching it all year. I think him moving up to that linebacker position, that honestly gives us the depth right there to move into a 3-4 because they want that kid to transition into linebacker. You bring in another safety or two, you bring in another cornerback, and then hopefully like guys like Tack and Irving and Mad Max had a sophomore slump that came out of nowhere, and that kid took a huge step back. Farrell looked like he was doing pretty damn good, but I don't know. We're on the verge of having a really damn good defense if some of these dudes can step up. But I'd love to see us go out there and just lock down a damn good linebacker, either in this draft or in free agency. Bring in a third, dude. Because Littleton has been getting better. I think Gunther being gone is going to help Littleton dramatically. Kokowski's been a freaking beast out there. Morrow's played extremely good. And then if you have Muse as your depth, and I don't know, like a dude like Kyle Wilbur getting in there and getting some play time. Kyle Wilbur is not the dude you want to see hit the field. I understand he's a captain, but he's like a player favorite. He's not a captain because he's one of the better players on this team. And I don't know. Your thoughts on the linebackers? I've wanted some damn good linebackers on this team forever, and I think we have one right now. Ruggs need to spend time with Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. He needs to spend time with people that know how to get out the line. Troubleshoots, back up off that. Cut Eric Harris. I really think Eric Harris is probably going to end up being gone. A lot of guys want to see us keep Heath. I think Heath could be kept as a rotational depth piece. I do not want to see Heath as a starter next to Abram. I saw flashes of it. It did not work. Big running back. How about checking on Chris Warren? Still young, maybe got bigger, whole year off. He might have got bigger, but not in the way of muscle. Damn, the kid showed up so damn out of shape. I want somebody that's serious, ready to come in here, willing to put in the work. I'd love to see Chris Warren back. I don't know if it's going to happen. I do not think that's going to happen. I keep thinking Gruden keeps bad players on the field on purpose and at the wrong time. 49ers are far worse than we are. There's a lot of teams that are a hell of a lot. Oh, as far as injuries go, dude, nobody got bit worse than the 49ers. As far as they were losing like major starters for the entire damn season. We need to win this game. F the donkeys. Get out of some sort of the high note. Yeah, dude, that's all I'm saying. Just get out there and get on a high note. Finish this game. Beat another divisional opponent. Finish 8-8. It sucks. We're going to miss the playoffs. But at the same time, you can kind of sit back, look at it, see what you're working with, see exactly how it's going to play out. Red or Rich, man, damn you. Don't do that shit, man. DC needs to hit his outside receiver. Oh, God, dude. Oh, I'll give you that, man. I've talked about that so many times. Derek Carr not hitting his outside wide receivers and getting that ball to the outside. It blows my damn mind that he will not do that. And the fact that Waller, and I love Waller, and I understand Waller is a tight end that used to play wide receiver, and technically he is a wide receiver, and we line him up everywhere. But I am so sick of seeing, because we did it with Jared Cook too, a tight end being our leading wide receiver. That's not the way this shit is set up to work, man. Get your outside receivers involved in these games. It takes so much pressure off of Carr in that run game. We don't see it, man. I want a great DC, 3 to 5 years to come. Wade Phillips able to do that? No. In my personal opinion, no. Aaron cut Malik Collins. If Marinelli stays as our defense coordinator, Malik Collins will stay on this team. Haskins sucks, too fat, does not want to rush and jump 2 inches off the ground to bat down a pass. He'll be embarrassing our backs. No, dude, that talk isn't crazy. Aside from depth, I think we have some talent on D. We just need the right coach to use them properly. That I completely agree with. Dondo, what's going on, man? We just have a new DC and a real OC. If we have a new defense coordinator that can really implement a new defense on this team and work with the players he has, our offensive coordinator is Gruden until he's off this team. No matter who we trade for or draft, it won't matter because we still have Gruden. He lost it. His game plan has passed him by. Man, I'll tell you right now, some of the calls that I've seen him make this season blow my damn mind. 7-9, number 11 pick. Here we come. And then what? If we go 8-8, then we have like the 15th pick. And you're talking about moving 4 spots and saving a little bit of pride and finishing on a high note. I'd rather be 8-8 and end up kicking the hell out of the Broncos one more time. Keep Vickers. Dude, yes, keep Vickers. Please, for the love of God, keep Vickers. I'd love that guy. Rich, dude. And Smith. Dude, Chris Smith played damn good for us, too. Especially if you go back to that Chiefs game. Those two dudes led that defensive line for us. Were bright spots on our defense, even if they were the second unit. And that's the thing. They were second unit. They were bright spots. They came in. They made impact. Them right back to the practice squad until we need you again. Dude, keep them in the rotation. Kick some of these other fools back to the practice squad and see how they like it for a few weeks. I'm getting tired of the not ready crap. If he's not ready, don't bring him onto the team. Yes, all right, I'll give you that. If he's in shape, he's going to be playing, or he should be. Thank you very much. Under the radar, keep your eye on Rex Ryan coming back to the league. Raiders defense is a hot job right now. The Raiders defensive coordinator is a hot job right now because a lot of people out there see the talent that we have on this team, and they understand that if you tweak this system just a little bit, but you have to be willing to work with Gruden, man. And there's a lot of coaches out there that will not work with Gruden because they know just the ego and the mindset that he has. 76 viewers, only 23 likes, and I don't even worry about that. I just like people to come out here and bullshit with me. Michael, man, thank you for coming out. Javen White and Muse should be dynamic linebackers duo next year. If Javen White and Muse can pan out, there is no damn reason why we cannot transition into that 3-4, and I think there's people out there that see that, and I'm really hoping it works. How come a lot of crappy teams can turn things around in less than 3 years, and we can't do it in 20? Man, because usually year 3 is the turnaround year where everything comes together. You have your team together, and I honestly think if it wasn't, and I hate making the excuse and using COVID as the excuse, but it flipped this whole damn year of the NFL around, man. The freaking Browns are about to make the playoffs. It's stuff like that you can't plan for, you can't anticipate. It's not an excuse, but it is an excuse at the same time, which sucks to say. Fun fact, ESPN just named this defense the worst defense of the decade. It's hard to argue that. It's not a fun fact, Tycho. It's a shitty fact. Bro Scarborough. Oh, DRC to the second power. What's happening, man? How are you doing? Quite the accomplishment. Yeah, quite the accomplishment to go out there. But let me give you this. If we did have the worst defense of the decade, and Carr's been our quarterback for, the past 6 seasons now, you still think it's his fault? I don't. I never will. Until he goes out there and we have a top 10 defense and then we don't make the playoffs, that's the point. If we have a top 20 defense and we don't make the playoffs, I'll join you guys in the Carr-hating bandwagon. But until that point, you need to get off that dude's back out there. We don't need another. No, dude. Our wide receiver room is deep as hell. Aguilar is a bruiser. Yes, he is. But I just want to see some packages out there where you have a bruiser, or you have your big fullback that can just nail people, and then a back behind him that's going to fall forward no matter what. Yes, but we don't give Ingo the ball a lot. No. We started to work him into the passing game a little bit, then he ended up busting up his ribs, and that kind of sucked. I wouldn't mind Allen Robinson, but we need help on the defense. Dude, we need a lot of help on the defense. As far as guys like Allen Robinson, I've heard his name thrown around a lot. I would love to have Allen Robinson come onto this team and kind of take things over for us. I do not think that's going to end up happening just because we need so much help in so many different positions. Much love, Joku. Let's get these kids some gifts for the Raider Nation. Man, Rich, dude, I really appreciate you, man. You've been with me for a long time, and I know we don't see eye to eye a lot, dude, but I have the utmost respect for you. Man of God, dude, screw that. You can take that back, dude. This is not the reason I sit out here doing this. I sit out here to do this just because I love talking football with you guys, but thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. How many draft picks are we allowed to have? Did we lose more than one? As of this point, we were only stripped one because of all the COVID violations. And it was, 7 rounds in all. I think we lost our 6th out there. But we ended up trading. We got that extra 4th. Or no, we traded that 4th and we got the 4th back. So I don't think that pick changed at all. The rest are, Trent ain't playing again. Man, I'll tell you right now. Trent's not going to finish this season. I'm really curious to see what happens with him. That's a lot of money we can end up saying. The rest are undrafted free agents. Yes. Brings me back to the Zach Miller days. I heard someone sent some BS to Damon Arnett after we lost. Whoever that fool is, it's unacceptable. Man, I'll tell you right now, people going out there and attacking these players. And I love Josh Jacobs on Twitter because he goes out there and just trolls the hell out of people and comes right back with it. These guys do not give a hell what we say, what we do. These guys are going out there, they're following a game plan, they're doing their damnedest to win. Whether they win or they lose, they don't care what we say or what we're talking about because they know they did their best to go out there and play the game. As far as Arnett biting on that running back coming out of the backfield, technically speaking, that was his job on that play. Isaiah Johnson was the one that was completely out of position and playing way too far into the middle. As soon as Arnett bit, he should have shifted to the outside. He did not. These are 2 young players. This is Isaiah Johnson's ultimate rookie season because he was busted up all last season, and this is Arnett's rookie season. Those guys are going to make mistakes, man. It just came at a key time that totally sucked to see. I think Carr is most comfortable throwing the ball to the tight ends, though. That's been blatantly obvious. I completely agree with that. I honestly in doubt of Gruden's ability to really put on a winning season. His record pretty much proves it. 18-29 over his first 3 seasons. Who was it? I had that pulled up. Let me take a look at this real quick because this stat kind of blew my mind. And I was like, damn, dude, if they were willing to do that, it is what it is. But let's see if I still have it on here. All right, this was from 27 Raider Man out there. Jack Del Rio was 25 for 23, 52.1 winning percentage. Tom Cable was 17 for 27, 38.6 winning percentage. John Gruden, 18 for 29, 38.3 win percentage out there. Del Rio and Cable were both fired on their 3rd year. Gruden has done both worse than both of them. But he's going to end up keeping his job and continuing this because he's going to end up getting a pass because of the way this season is stacked up. I don't agree with it, but man, just to see like the different people, like you see it in the NFL, like different players get different treatment, different coaches get different treatment. It sucks because he's our coach, and I agree with you guys, man. I really think it's kind of passed him by. I'm honestly in doubt of Gruden's ability. Oh, yeah, dude, it does. Seth, dude, 100%. There's no real win for the Raiders at this point, but we got to end strong. I really think a repeat of the DC4 game, 59-14. God, dude, I would love that. Love that. I don't think Wade Phillips' personality is a good fit. There's a reason that he's not coaching this year. His age is a factor, too. I want to see somebody younger come in. I know a lot of you guys are high on Wade Phillips. I understand Wade Phillips always puts together a pretty solid defense, but Wade Phillips' defense has always been the same, just with different players. If you bring Wade Phillips' defense on, the rest of the NFL knows what you're bringing out to the field each game. They can adjust to it. They have a shit ton of tape on it. Bring in somebody. I don't even want somebody new. I just want somebody younger who's been in the NFL for a year or two who just wants a shot to bring this defense together. That's why I really think there's a few names out there, like that dude from Atlanta, man. Him or Mike Patricia. I'd love to see Patricia come onto this team. I think he'd end up working this defense and make this damn thing look a hell of a lot better. Cut Olsen. I've been waiting to cut that puppet for 3 years. Hard to win games no matter who's calling plays when the defense plays like the 30. Yeah, that's it. Mariota, 2021 starter, better fit. From what a lot of you guys have told me, like, I don't agree with this, but a lot of you guys have said that Mariota is a better West Coast quarterback than Derek Carr. And I've talked about Derek Carr and John Gruden not working together, like not working like well together in this system. And it sucks to say that because you want your quarterback, and I think they're on the same page. I think there's just, they play 2 different styles. Like he's coaching one style and Carr's doing it and doing it effectively. Don't take anything away from Carr. He's played a hell of a season this year. But I think Carr could be even better than he is right now if he was outside of Gruden's system. Get a good defensive coach. Yes, get a good defensive coach. And I think everybody will stop talking about this offense. Damn it, man of God, dude. Please, dude. Please don't super chat me. Shit makes me feel weird. Wade Phillips is an old, and for that reason, I want somebody else. But at this point, who's the better choice? Because we can all agree that defensive players, the best fit the 4th. Yeah, dude, if you get into that, then you do, man. You bring in that dude from Atlanta out there. He can run that 3-4 system, and he can make it look damn good with the pieces that we have. And his name totally spaced my mind right now. But he's my personal preference to bring him onto this team. The defensive scheme, bro. The defensive scheme sucks, dude. We don't fit best for the 3-4. We don't have the nose tackle linebackers are suspect. No, I'll give you that. But I've worked through this, man, and I'll show it to you through the offseason when I draw up all these little guys again to see like what kind of changes that we make. Our 3-4, it might be a little sloppy at first, but with the right coach out there, a guy like Muse, a guy like Javen White, I still truly believe that if we could bring in a couple decent safeties, you could have Abrams slide up into one of those outside linebacker positions, and it would look so damn strong. And then Malik Collins could be your nose tackle in a 3-4 situation if that dude can get his damn head on straight. And then Mad Max and Farrell on the outside, that's where it gets a little bit questionable, man, because you need guys that can stop the run, and Mad Max has proven that he is a pass rusher. He is not going to stop the run. He is not going to contain that outside perimeter. He's going to end up rushing straight past it, getting lit up, and held the majority of the time and not getting the flag. I'm not going to turn my back on Gruden like a lot of people are doing. No, as long as Gruden's offense is in the top 10, I'm not going to end up shitting completely on that dude. I will shit on some of his play calling out there because some of it's been completely suspect in key situations, but overall, his offense has been working. And our defense has just given up every damn game, man. And that's another thing is, towards the end of the game, Gruden will let the defense ride, man. He'll be like, all right, man, I'm going to let the defense close this game out for us. Like, at what point, like week 5 or 6, you got to realize your defense is not going to close the game out. You need to put up enough points to where you're closing the game out just by killing people out there. Oh, they chose me. What's happening? Is this another rebuild? No. This is going to be a defensive flip right here. You're going to see a defensive coordinator come onto this team. You're going to see him make his picks. You're going to see him take over this defense. If it works, we're going to be a playoff caliber team. If it does not work, you're going to see a lot of people lose their jobs, and we're going to keep moving forward, and then it will be another rebuild. No, we just have to no, that's it, dude. Docs, what's going on, dude? You know damn well I do my shots and drinking while I'm not on the air. Gruden's play calling doesn't suck with cars dropping bombs to Waller and Aguilar. Yeah, that's it, Anthony. Exactly, dude. So I guess as long as Gruden is on this team, we'll keep sucking. Easy to figure out that that's your answer. It's not, dude. It's not my answer. It's just, I don't know. The more that Carr and Gruden work together, the more freedom Carr's going to have. You saw Carr have a hell of a lot more freedom than he had the past 2 years. This year, it looked like he was really starting to able to open things up a little bit. But it just seems like when we get into the red zone, Gruden gets into his ear and he's like, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Instead of just kind of letting him continue to finish it off, man. And like you march us all the way down the field, give him an option to end up finishing it for us instead of getting in his head, man. Pride and poise, punk and poise. Yes, the red zone needs work, but we can get all around with this defense is a glaring weakness. If this defense gets fixed, we'll be fine, man. We got a lit Docs for tonight. Man, Docs, dude, your liver. I feel bad for your liver. The Raiders go 3-4. We got to get Miles Jack from Jacksonville. Dude, yes, I will take that all damn day. Gruden is 113, 110 lifetime. Oh, Captain Jack, what's going on? Sorry, it took a bit to get over here. Finishing up my video. Ref Guru. Oh, dude, you had Guru and the Violator on there. I'm going to check that out when I get out of here, dude. Come on, people. We're getting that thumbs up. Nah, it is what it is, man. Black man of God, dude, I appreciate you. Bringing a better offensive coordinator. I mean, we could all keep saying it, dude, but it's not going to happen. He's not going to bring in an offensive coordinator onto this team. And if he does, it's going to be another dude like Olsen who's just like, okay, Mr. Gruden, I'll do whatever you want me to do, Mr. Gruden. It's like, dude, put somebody on this team that's going to turn to Gruden and be like, dude, shut the hell up for a minute. I'm trying to run this offense. Put Carr back in a spread. Put Carr in that pistol or a shotgun. Put 4 or 5 wide receivers on the field. You want to see Carr be at his absolute best? Put him back in his spread offense. Let him just read the defense at the line. He will shred a team, like truly shred a team and march down the field. There's not a doubt in my mind about that. We've all seen that shit happen time and time again. Bill Musgrave sat there and was like, all right, Carr, here you go. I'm going to put you in this offense. I'm going to let you just kind of pick things apart. If it doesn't start working, I'll make some tweaks. I saw Carr go out in a game with Bill as his offensive coordinator, and they shut down everything. And then all of a sudden, Carr threw to his running backs for the entire rest of the game, and we ended up winning because we were able to make that adjustment. I've not seen an adjustment made on this offense this entire for 3 years now, and it blows my mind, dude. Trent is a salary cap issue. He is, man, but the money you save and the money you eat is a big difference on that. So it's honestly better. It's honestly better if you keep him on the team, but if the Raiders don't go in that direction, if we end up cutting him, we lose a big chunk of money, but we save so much at the same time. It's just one of those that you have to raise your standards. Man, my standards are high as hell for this team. It's just a matter of them being able to put it together. Cut Trent Brown, Ty Williams, LaMarcus Joyner. You cut those 3, you end up having a hell of a lot of money you can play with. He does. He stifles the offense. New 8. You're completely right about that. Problem with Gruden's offense is that he's made terrible decisions in key. That's it. Like terrible decisions in key situations. Colton Miller was getting bullied last week. He was, man. That is a straight fact. 3rd and long makes you sleep on the side of the bed. Let him rip the spread offense. God, dude. That's the other thing. You're right about that. I'll give you that, Michael, 110%. But am I the only person that feels like our defense, like I'm more comfortable when our defense is in 3rd and 5 than we are in 3rd and 9? Because it seems like on 3rd downs with our defense, the further they have to go, the better likely that they're going to end up getting the first. And that is not right at all. Arden Key is gone. God, dude. I love Arden Key so damn much, like so much. I have to agree with you. I think he's pretty much sealed his fate throughout this season. Last year he was just getting there. He's like so close to getting there and just missed it. And then this year he's doing the same damn thing again. I think that penalty's really It's going to be the thing that we remember going into this offseason. He's going to bounce back. He'll be on somebody else's team. I really think that kid's going to end up having a damn good career. I think he's one of those guys that's going to take a little bit longer to get adjusted. But in like his 6th and 7th year, you're going to see Arden Key making a lot of headlines. I wish he'd be a Raider at that point. I don't think it's going to happen. Offense is top 10. Defense is 29. What do you think needs work? Defense showed up against the Bucks, Chiefs twice, Jets, Dolphins, the Chargers twice. Offense didn't. Offense showed up in that Chiefs game, dude, twice. As far as that Jets games go, that's inexcusable. The Dolphins game, I thought our offense played pretty damn solid. That was the number 1 defense in football. We went out there and we put up points. There were situations that Dolphins game is where I really looked at Gruden and I was like, dude, screw you, because a lot of that stuff in the red zone came down to him. And that Bucks game, that Bucks game blew. Yes, Arden Key needs to go yesterday. Carr's scared to lose his job to Mariota. That could be why he's forcing himself to keep playing out there when he damn well he shouldn't be. I think Trent Brown isn't the issue after this year. Checking it through, I think the big money is gone after. That big money's going to hurt Trent Brown. Gruden can't make adjustments. 3 TDs. Oh, log makes you sleep on the side of the... I like our linebacker, side quarterback, safeties, and defensive line massively. Our defense, if we cannot figure out something with this defensive line and getting some damn pressure out there, and we watch these little stunts that they're running and little, dude, I don't know. That defensive line is just not working right now. It's at all. And if we're not willing to change some things drastically on that defensive line and see some players go or bring in some players and just kind of shuffle around the rotation of our starters, it's going to look the exact same, man. If we don't get pressure, our linebackers are going to pay and our secondary is going to get eaten up. It doesn't matter who's back there. Arden Key to the Chiefs, watch. Jason, dude, that's a real freaking possibility, and it scares the hell out of me. Trent Brown is the highest paid player on the team, $21.6 million, played 4 to 5 games. He may not have the salary cap hit next year, but he's still getting 21. Yes, exactly. We have the same type of wide receivers as Kansas City, yet Gruden wants to run the ball 30 times per game. I have no problem with giving that ball in Josh Jacobs' hands 20 to 25 times a game and getting Booker in that mix. But at the same time, if you want to go out there and compete in this NFL right now, you have to be able to go out there and just put up some fucking points, man. I'm sorry, but that's the bottom line. If you cannot go out there and put some points on the board, it's going to be the same shit week in and week out. And we're putting points on the board. That's why I'm not bitching too much about it. It's just the fact that we cannot stop a damn team coming at, regardless of who it is. I've never been comfortable going into a game where I'm like, oh man, the Raiders are going to show up this week. This is going to be the game where our defense, I say it every week, our defense is going to step up. And then every week our defense gets completely shit on, and it sucks to see, man. Madden with Alzheimer's is a better coaching decision than Gruden. Why does Jacobs look slower this season? That's a tough one, fam. I see what you're saying out there. I think he's trying to play a little bit. I don't think he's playing slower. I think he's playing smarter. I think he's trying to read holes more. But he's had a few times where I thought he really should have busted one. He's just kind of getting hit up. I know he's been banged up a little bit this season, but I'm not worried about Jacobs, dude. That's one spot on this team where I'm honestly really comfortable. It's too bad families can't be torn apart by something as simple as wild dogs. Trent Brown could buy a lot of biscuits. Y'all are killing me, dude. Car was flat. Another real black mom. I appreciate you, man. Or run game after coming the passing game and let it rip down the field, and Carr has to sling it, man. Just put Carr back there and let him sling that damn thing. Matthew, what's happening? I've noticed Nelly upset and complaining a couple games when he had his guys beat. Probably doesn't like the offense. If you look at a guy like Cooper, first thing Cooper said when he left is they weren't using me correctly. And it's like, dude, like when I first saw that, I was like, man, Cooper's an asshole. I was like, he does not deserve to be a Raider. I was like, he never should have been a Raider. But then you watch him go to a team like Dallas and just totally start to shred it again. And then when he was with us before Gruden came and Cooper was just a 1,000-yard wide receiver, then you bring Gruden in and everything changed, man. So you have to see. And there's been other wide receivers in the past, dude. That dude he was with in Tampa Bay out there. Like, there's receivers that just hated playing for Gruden, man. And a lot of it is because he is predictable, because he is going to run the ball. And there's going to be situations where they're used as decoys or bait just to pull people down the field, knowing damn well they're not going to get the ball. But if they don't do it, they're going to get bitched at as soon as they come off the field. It's not the system that works, man. To open up the run, then bomb it to Ruggs, spread it out, to spread out the whole damn offense. Joseph, what's happening, man? All right, man, that's pretty much what I have for you guys tonight. I just wanted to bring it out there, just kind of get your guys' opinions on it. We're going to come back on Friday for Fan Friday. That's still my favorite show that I do. It's just letting you guys just have the floor. I know it's been mirrored out there a few times, but I still love doing it, man. So we'll see you guys Friday night. I really appreciate all you guys that came out tonight. If you could, please click that like on your way out. It really does help me out and keep me growing. If you haven't subbed yet, please think about that. But until next time, guys, I'm Son Joku. We will see y'all next time.